Welcome back to the Jim Brown Common Sense Show on the Genesis Radio Network. I want to talk a little bit about some insurance issues. A lot of you in the South, at least, know that I was insurance commissioner in Louisiana for a number of years, and there's some insurance issues that are raising, unfortunately, some troubling questions when it comes to this oil spill that is taking place all over the Gulf that's affecting the entire country right now. Like I said before, this is no longer just a local or regional catastrophe. This is a national catastrophe with the rates going up for seafood, for your oil, for the massive cleanup that you and I know British Petroleum will not have the funds to completely clean up. It's going to fall to the taxpayers. So we're all involved in this terrible crisis that takes place down where I happen to live right now. Insurance is a big issue. First of all, insurance companies are saying that although they're not going to pay out that much, it's probably going to impact rates across the Gulf at least, and maybe throughout the whole country with higher homeowners rates. The Gulf Coast has the highest homeowners rates of any place in the country. Louisiana, my home state, being by far the highest rates in the country for a variety of very questionable reasons. But also you have high rates in Mississippi, Alabama, all around the Gulf Coast, in California, any place where you're close to the ocean. You know, in Florida, I think that 90% of the homes are within 50 miles of the coast, so there's huge exposure over there. And this oil spill is going to create some real insurance problems. The other big thing is it's hurricane season down here. What happens in the worst case scenario? A hurricane comes in and picks up this water and takes it 50 or 100 miles inland, which we've had happen before. Torrential rains, massive winds, bringing the oil, dumping it in communities all over the Gulf Coast. Does your insurance company cover you because of oil damage? We fought this battle a good bit after Katrina, when many of the courts said only wind damage will be covered. They're not going to cover any water damage. Water you would have to have covered by a separate policy, a flood insurance policy by the federal government, which many people just didn't have. What about the oil damage? Is that covered? Oil mixed with water? Nobody really knows. There's never been a case quite like this, and you and I know that the water washes away, but the oil stays. It's not going anywhere. I would urge, as the former insurance commissioner, that these policies should cover the oil damage. I think it's right. I think your insurance policy is there to cover you for these kinds of disasters, and you can't get, oil insurance like you can flood insurance. So as a consequence, you're left out in the cold if something like this is not done. Interesting question, and obviously one for the lawyers to be fought into the courts a good bit. So with all the other problems we have down here, insurance is raising its ugly head as one more problem facing people along the entire Gulf Coast. And when it faces the entire Gulf Coast with the increased costs, it's going to face all of you folks, no matter where you live. Jim Brown here. We'll come right back after this message.